血，瞄到的是你，小伙计咋个比？名字都不值一提，对不起，先说对不起，他和他的题，预备起，等到今朝起，我从 A 杀到 B， 预备起，今朝我从 A 杀到打到 A 起，今朝我从 A 杀到打到 A 起，打个走不值一提，等到今朝起，我从 A 杀到 B。
Welcome back, everyone, to Masters Tokyo. And I'm going to say, guys, Drake and Eminem have been real quiet since that drop. real quiet.
I didn't know the Kang diss track went that hard. That thing is crazy.
I feel like you two, Doug and Bala, we gotta respond somehow. Should we make something? Yeah?
I mean, I'm down. I just wish I wish I knew what he was saying. I'm sure it's spit, though. I'm sure it was hard.
I'll tell you right now, it was fire, okay?
Yeah?
Just trust me that it was fire. And speaking of fire, this EMEA versus China storyline continues. Earlier, we just saw you guys were casting. FUT, they came out on top. But EDG, they are about to take the stage. And Bola could still be the team to bring the first ever win back home for China.
Yeah, I honestly thought it might happen at the beginning of that last series, but it's crazy to me to consider that this is a possibility in this series right here. It's been a long road for China, but I honestly think, based on the form of Navi, this might be the best chance.
Yeah, they've had plenty of opportunities. I mean, you see it on your screen right now. There have been opportunities historically for China to walk away with a win, and at the very beginning, they just haven't been able to pull it off. You see it at the very top of your screen. It was actually FUT who took them down 2-1, but it's just been unfortunate failure after failure. 7 times in a row now, and now the opportunity to pull it off.
Yeah, speaking of unfortunate events, this is Lock-In, as you guys see EDG. At Lock-In, they nearly did it. They nearly beat 100 Thieves. They won. They lost map 1, won map 2, OT map 3, and again, lost 14-12, Bala, just like the other day. But the good thing is, Lock-In, they didn't have a chance to bounce back. They just went home. Here, they do have a chance. Do you reckon they could do it?
Yeah, I definitely think they could. I think they looked great in their opening series, and I think they've improved event after event, from Champions to Lock-In, even that series. Me and Doug were casting that 100 Thieves game. It was crazy, down to the wire. I honestly thought they should have won that game.
Yeah, and one of the, I feel like, key players today is Kong Kong. Fortunately, I had the chance to catch up with him a little bit earlier as EDG arrived at the venue. Kong, come over. I wanted to ask you a quick question. We're going to get a translator here for you. The last time you played, you popped off. It was a crazy game. What did you make of your own performance?
对，上次的表现非常的出色，然后很疯狂。想问一下，你对于自己的表现有什么样的评价呢？
就很平常嘛，我感觉这只是我一部分的力量。今天我要把我另外一部分力量带过来，就是我们拿下 Navi。
I just play as usual, and it's part of my stress. I'll do all the best for today's matchup.
Thank you very much. 谢谢康康，谢谢。Honestly, I felt like I blessed the translator for not going in as hard as Kang Kang did, but he kind of said, you know, I'm used to performing like that, nothing new. But what people don't know is that that's actually half of my power. And today, Doug, we're apparently, according to Kang Kang, are going to witness the other half of what he can do. And I'm excited.
I do think that he is a key to the success for this squad, right? He's got to be able to perform. He's got to be able to deliver. And they were a lot of fun to watch the first time around. Navi, potentially a different beast, but I mean, Kong Kong, there's a lot to be excited for.
I mean, we just saw T1 and their strength against NRG.
Yeah.
And Navi lost to that team. NRG squeak away with the win. But I'm just thinking, if they did that against T1, and they were so close, honestly, probably should have carried through. We had so many moments from everybody on EDG, but Kong Kong specifically, I think, could have carried that game all the way through, despite already beasting.
Yeah, and you can see how hard he took that loss, saying here, I just can't sleep at all. He never tweets, by the way. This is like once a year he tweets this, but his performance, Doug, is not even just good, you know, for someone of his region or someone of his role. It was just, like, undisputedly one of the best performances we've seen from anyone.
Yeah, that's absolutely hard to argue with. I think undisputed is the best way to put it, and I want to go back to what Bala was saying because I think you're right. He had the opportunity to carry it the entire way through, and given what kind of form we see out of Navi today, he may have to do that.
I think specifically when I look at that tweet as well, just not being able to sleep, the guy plays with so much energy, and it's not surprising to see it run out. So you do have to kind of rely on some of the other players on EDG, especially because they have so many crazy Yuto combos and compositions as well that they run that is part of their success too. So I don't want to put it all on Kong Kong to win this game.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we do have Kong Kong here talking with his IGR Hall Dome as well as they came into Masters Tokyo.
Hello， 大家好，我是来自 EDG 的 ZMGGKK， 你们可以叫我康康。我觉得学到最多的东西应该是在不能够一贯的去利用自己的激进去创造那种优势，在适当的时候应该缓下来，去想一想团队怎么让队伍赢下这场比赛。我觉得我们现在在做一些事情，就是我们需要去学习，但是这并不代表我比他们弱。我们有自己赛区的独特，我觉得参加第3次无畏契约的感觉应该是更兴奋吧，因为我觉得我能够赢更多的比赛，在这一次更证明了自己，向全世界证明一下我们到底有多厉害。我有这样想过，因为我玩这个游戏就是为了站在世界舞台上告诉所有人，我不比他们差，我不比任何人差，甚至我比他们都厉害。就是我现在觉得，我们如果打好自己的东西的话，我们是有胜算的。面临任何队伍，其实都有胜算的。我们在该激进的时候，我们会打得特别激进；然后在该稳的时候，我们现在也知道一个度去怎么去稳定下来。现在我们5个选手也是交流着打嘛，所以说就能够更灵活的就是在场上的时候能更灵活的去转变一些思路吧。其实我根本就不在乎中国无畏契约第一的那种 title， 我只在乎我们能不能拿下世界第一的 title。
现在队伍自信程度肯定是100%的，然后现在队内的状况也是每天都在紧急的训练备战的环境当中。先是给自己定一个比较小一点的目标吧，先赢第1场，然后后面的也会竭尽全力赢。觉得不单单是对于我的意义吧，包括我的团队，所有人都是一个很珍贵的一个回忆吧，在未来的话。
因为我们在前2次经历了世界赛的时候，我们把一些所困难的东西，在这一次我们完美的规避掉了，或者自己能够化解掉一些我们之前遇到的那些问题。所以说我们现在在努力的备战，努力的去适应环境，然后现在又没有了时差那些干扰，所以说我觉得我们就应该大展拳脚了。
首先是 teamwork 上面肯定是在比 lock in 的时候要提高了不少的，然后再加上一些比赛当中的一些细节也是有所提高。对于打法上面的话，我觉得随机应变比较重要一点吧，因为我们的打法并不是像 EMEA 还有其他赛区能打得过，
就是我从来不觉得我们算是那种 underdog 那种感觉。所以说我觉得我们是需要在更多的国际比赛当中去学习一些新的东西，但是我们在学习的过程中，我们也有拿出自己的本事，拿出自己的那种方式方法去赢下这个比赛，然后把我们学习到的跟我们自己的东西结合起来，我们就会变得更厉害。
I mean, they are chasing that win, and today could be that opportunity. When I was watching Kong in the last game, I was like, this is prime 10 CNED and everyone else mixed together in one. And Bala, we're going to get Kong versus CNED today!
What a matchup. It's crazy. And honestly, it's weird because CNED hasn't been playing much of that jet that Kong is really fierce with. We're seeing it on almost every map for him. He's a beast, and this matchup is going to deliver today for sure.
I can only hope that this might mean that Kong finds himself on a Yoru or something. If we had the Yoru CNED or the Kong CNED Yoru matchup, that'd be gold. But yeah, I think he's gonna have his hands full, right? Because CNED has shown we've seen it a couple times in this tournament already. You saw it in the stats just a few moments ago. The guy can take over a game. He seems so much more comfortable on the Raze role, which is a conversation that we had leading up to the tournament too.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to me, but honestly, as a fan of Navi, I'm disappointed with the rest of them and not CNED. And I have to put as much importance on CNED's performance that we just put on Kong's performance, because I think he's the key for this team. I think he's the only guy who kept them energized in that first series that they played against NRG.
I mean, this operator battle is going to be crazy. I cannot wait to see it. We've heard from EDG already. It's time to hear from Navi. Here's Doombros. Doombros, my friend, I need some good news for the EMEA boys. Now, you're playing against EDG. We don't get too many of those teams in EMEA. How much adjustments have you had to make to go from a team like NRG to EDG?
EDG is completely different playstyle from NRG. So I think for us, we've just been preparing the whole day, preparing some protocols and just thinking about how we should deal with their pushes and their playstyle. But I feel confident that we have it.
We need that confidence. Thank you very much, Doombros, and good luck. I mean, this is such an interesting match. We heard from Atta Captain earlier, they tried to counter the Chinese playstyle. It didn't work, so they just went back to doing what they usually do. Do you guys think that's the optimal game plan for Navi as well, just to do what they do?
I think the two Chinese teams that we've seen so far at this tournament are night and day difference. I think EDG plays a completely different pace. Yes, ASC can throw that in there, but I think EDG is consistently going at you with these random set plays. I liken them to HyperX, and I think that Navi versus HyperX battle that we saw last year was very interesting, and I think they should be prepared, but it's about so many of their players stepping up to deal with it.
Oh, and I think a lot of it, too, is how do you prepare for something like that, right? Like Doombros was just saying, we're going to be prepared. We know what we want to do. We've been prepping for it all day. This isn't something that you study and you read the defaults and then kind of go around that. It's much more difficult.
Yeah, and it's scary if you are a Navi fan, because in every tournament they've gone to, this goes back even further, by the way, First Strike, the regional EMEA Masters, they have never finished outside of the top 4. And today could be the first time that they don't even make it out of the group stage, Doug. I cannot imagine a world where it happens for this Navi team.
Yeah, it is insane to think about. The pedigree of success that this roster has had, you go back to their previous banner that they donned, they're good. They're historically very good, and these are situations in which they thrive. But again, this is a very chaotic beast that you're going up against.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because this is like one of the first times that they haven't played many group stages, but they often at least go up into that winner's match. They're down in elimination, and it's very unprecedented.
Yeah, it is indeed. Let's take a look at map select now and see which maps we're going to be going to.
All right, let's get started. Match 3, last match of the day. So EDG, you are higher seed. Do you want Team A or Team B? Team B. Okay, so Navi, you will be Team A. And we will start with your first ban. Haven, your ban?
I'm a ban. I'm a descent.
Descent. Okay, map number 1. Pearl. Side on Pearl. Attack. Okay. Map number 2. Fracture? Bind, okay. Side on Bind. Defense. Okay, we're going to go into the next set of bans, starting with Navi. You have Fracture, Lotus, and Split. Ban Split. Okay, your ban. You have Fracture and Lotus.
We ban Fracture.
Ban Fracture, so map number 3 is going to be Lotus. Side on Lotus. Defense. Okay, run through this real quick. So first set of bans, we have Navi with Haven, EDG with Ascent. Map number 1 is Pearl with EDG on attack. Map number 2 is Bind with Navi on defense. Next set of bans were Split and Fracture. Lotus is map number 3 with Navi on defense. Sound good? Oh, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Navi.
to be a big challenge for both of these teams. For EDG, they need that win so desperately. And for Navi, they don't want their journey to end here, because if they do, they will not be going to Champions and they will have to play LCQ, guys. I cannot imagine a world where Navi are the team that drops out of these four. But let's talk about the map veto, Doug. I think you and I were both kind of laughing at the fact that Doombros was caught off guard.
Yeah, he was like smirking. He looked over to Angel with a big old grin on his face like, we got him. But there were so many questions about how they chose to go about it, Ball. I think you were equally surprised.
Yeah, that was one of the most emotive map vetoes we've seen.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have no clue why, because they picked Pearl when they could have picked Fracture, and they also have Lotus as a third map, which, yes, they won against NRG, but bro, you cannot tell me that that map looks good for Navi yet.
Yeah,
I loved it. As soon as EDG said bind, Eric opened his strap. He just like opened it to check what was going on. But the first map is going to be Pearl. Navi, they're undefeated. They've never lost on this map. But EDG, though, Bala, this is a map they should have won, let's be honest.
Yeah, they should have won against T1. Honestly, I think it was resilience by T1 and shows the reason why in this group that T1 has a big opportunity even after that loss against NRG. They look so good, and it speaks more to them than EDG in my mind. EDG still should have closed that map out, and I think it's a fierce pick to go for Navi. They must have seen something.
This is going to be a perfect way to start the series, though, right? For as much as Navi, you mentioned, Yinsu, how historically good they've been here, and the fact that EDG, yes, they should have won this map. It was off of a couple of heroics by Kong. It's going to be a very good matchup to kick things off, and then to think further beyond that and consider that Bind is on the board. I freaking love the map. The matchup is going to be good for it, too.
Yeah, I am also a little bit worried because when it comes to reps, yes, Navi, they're undefeated, but if you take a look at what they did in regular season, they played Giants twice, FA, and Team Heretics. This is not a map that good EMEA teams, the top level ones, even like to play. So I don't know why they win here, Bala. They must have a plan. And let's take a look at the Prime Gaming Asian select. What do you make of this?
I mean, they're sticking with what they know. I guess it's so far away from other teams they're playing. It's the single controller with the Sova, the KJ. I really liked this in the past, but I think we've shifted in such a drastic direction away from it. And what it is what EDG is playing. The Viper Arbor. That stuff is consistent.
Yeah, that double wall comp, the ability to control B, using the utility of both of their controllers. We've seen how smothering it can be, and North America has adopted it heavily, the Americas region, and it just has not translated the same way.
This is going to be a crazy bloodbath. I can't wait to get into this and throw this over to your casters. It's Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you, Yinsu. Yeah, I mean, you guys have set up this match perfectly. It's going to be a special one. Yeah. Edward Gaming versus Navi as well. The battle between China and EMEA, it continues, it stretches further beyond, and there's so much on the line as well. I mean, it's already been teamed up for us, hasn't it, Josh?
It certainly has. I mean, the possibility of having to go through LCQ, as Yinsu was saying, almost unthinkable for a Navi squad that everyone was expecting to be a top 2 team in EMEA, and that did not happen. They ended up being the 4th seed, and now they're the ones at risk. That's what's on the line for them today, not just being eliminated from Masters Tokyo, obviously, which both teams are playing to avoid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that first chance as well for Edward Gaming to really get that.
They nearly didn't have it.
They really didn't have it.
We watched Attacking Soul Esports just play this match against Foot, and I thought there was a chance there that Edward Gaming would come into this match not even able to win China's first match, but they've still got that on the table.
Still there to play for, and much more. It's an elimination game. The heat is being turned up. We set our sights as well over towards Pearl as our opening map between these two teams, and I am so excited for it, man. Kang versus CNED, that's the matchup that I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, and here it is.
Right into mid, off the rip. Preordained is what it feels like. Kang puts one in the tally. Let's see how this fight gets taken. Dart taken care of. An attempt there from Sugetsu, but he's brought down, traded. Chichu now running down and getting the squeeze onto Angel. He's going to be able to hear all of this. He has to hold close to default, but he is being swamped from 2 different directions. Cove, recall star, or at least a normal star, at least to get him back out and into safety.
Really well done by Xiao there, throwing help utility for Angel. Can he make anything of it?
Let's regroup with the rest of his team. Still player's advantage for Navi. Smoke fading away. Equalizing a little bit though. Maybe they can make something from this. Haodong, low on HP. Gets a bit of information.
That might tell him that Haodong is in back hall though, and he's not. He's tucked over a generator.
Oh, well, okay, just spamming onto that corner. Still weak enough. Haodong takes the fight together with Chichu. That's going to be a pistol round. Going away of Edward Gaming.
And Kang starts it off by winning that aim duel against CNED. You are going to see this Jet head-to-head constantly on Pearl, and mostly from EDG. EDG's composition, the meta comp, is built around putting Kang into those positions. He's going to be opping a ton as well on the defense side. Navi's composition, it's really weird. I mean, we saw them play it at Locking kind of before this Harbor Viper meta got established. It looked really good. In fact, all time, you might be surprised to know that Navi are 8-0 on this map. They've never lost on Pearl, despite the fact they don't play any Harbor Viper. They've also not really played against, listen, I don't want to rag on the EMEA teams too badly, but they haven't played against any teams that are considered great on this map. So that might be one of the big reasons why they're undefeated still.
Pearl tends to get avoided quite a bit in the EMEA. And out or avoided entirely, so you are completely correct. It's an apt point about the amount of preparation and practice they might have against some better teams out in the map. Should be quite clean though, assuming you get the spike down. Taking a time with it.
And also, this has got to be traumatic for EDG, having to start on this map after it's been the heartbreaking, confidence-crushing way in which they've lost two of their best opportunities to secure a win in the column for China. You think back to Lock-In, EDG, hearts broken, 12-14 loss to 100 Thieves. And then we saw it again in this tournament to T1. The exact same thing, 12-14 loss in the final map on Pearl. Just history keeps repeating itself in cycles for this team. They can't get it over the line on Pearl despite being a really good squad. So they're hoping for something different here.
To bounce back from that mentally is really what you need to perform at the highest level, these big international tournaments. And the desk was talking about it, Kang's tweet as well about him losing sleep over these losses. Don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's been hard fought. The guy certainly been doing his fair share of deadlifting for the team, but let's take a look at this round now. A couple of rifles in the hands of the EDG, so there is some danger here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So slightly.
Their economy is excellent, in fact. So EDG are going to go and take A main control. Zipan's just jiggle peeking that. Hasn't seen anything just yet.
There it is. Information for Zipan. He's going to be backing away almost immediately here. Stars still available to be activated. This fight has taken it out, though. That's an important one. Smoggy wins it, pushing through the high tide. Again, just squeezing through the back. Angel's still alive, but Smoggy, again, the watchful eye on all of the extremities.
The trade's been good, but Sugetsu, he's got past this Nano Swarm.
Still Smoggy. He's there. The rifle in his hands. A short work. He's on for the ace. Already 4 kills for him. The lockdown placed. CNED. He sees the spike, but he does have to vacate. He's got to get out of there.
And he's trying not to give away any information either.
Just walking, narrowly avoiding detainment, but you know where he is. Cascade now pushed into his face. A bit of spam this way. Snakebite avoided. Tap onto the spike. No one's watching for it, but wow, Smoggy set up for the ace.
Smoggy, the highest rated player in the most recent tournament run that they had in China. Not the top of the table in terms of the fragging, because that's almost always going to be Kang, but arguably one of the most impactful players that they have. He's gone from being that main duelist for the team, while Kang was playing the chamber back in the old meta, to now just being a full-time flex for the squad. He's playing Initiator, he's sometimes playing duelist for them. You'll see him on Lotus later on. And now on Killjoy, showing you what he's capable of. EDG's one of their biggest win conditions is getting the other players that aren't Kang online. Great start.
Amazing start. I mean, this is Navi's map pick of Pearl. They went here after watching, Edward Gaming have these incredibly close losses on the international stage, most recently as well, maybe expecting that they could have an advantage here, but so far so good. Yeah, now third round, man. They've knocked Navi down to the half-buy.
This is going to be very difficult for Navi to hold on and avoid a 0-4 beginning. These bad starts to maps were plaguing Navi. Their game against NRG, they started map 1, 2-6 down, map 2, 1-8 down, map 3, 1-8 down. I mean, the beginnings of these maps were just diabolical, but that's maybe an opening for Zipan's found.
Potentially a great one, but, well, Cena just can't quite claim the second kill. It's evened out. 4 versus 4. Weapon advantage, of course, still to Edward Gaming. And look how they're playing. It's doubled up towards the back of Hall. It's a stun at the feet of Howdong, but swings out claims his just before it's said and done. Well, Xiao is really not quite making a mess of this. He's really just pulling them back into it because suddenly, just like that, you cannot count a team like Navi out.
A small smile there on Zipan's face. Chichu made an absolute mess of that one in the duel against Angel. But Navi were also getting some blinding shots off. Xiao in particular on the Astra with the Sheriff in hand. And you're right, you can never count a team like this out. Even when they're playing a little sloppily or they're in a slump, the individual ability on players like Xiao and Sugetsu, the mechanics, the aim, is just sublime.
Yeah. Xiao playing with a point to prove. Might have seen my top 10 list, I'm not too sure, but those shots were quite good.
And look at what that's done for the economy. CNED gets an operator in round 5.
Watching towards mid. It's interesting, I mean, Edward Gaming, when they've been playing Pearl, not too much nuance in terms of their play on this map of the attack side. It's heavy emphasis placed towards A and B, the far other side of the map in terms of those extremities. Middle, they don't really put too much play into, but CNED chooses to watch it. Here we go. High Tide ripped across, is having to really shove him off that angle because, again, holds his ground, dashes back. Great opener.
Nice timing from CNED finding the opening kill there. Kankang's looking to see if he can equalize things over towards A. It's so interesting hearing the Desk and Doombros discuss EDG as being a very aggressive team. They're actually, in my opinion, one of the least aggressive of all the Pacific squads that we have at this tournament. Or at least, they're the team that knows when to slow it down.
Yeah. Saying in the content piece as well, Kankang himself, oh my, agile with the movements, Sugetsu does not evade going down.
And that's opened things up on the other side, so it's a 4v4, but now Navi have lost control of B. The Seekers will tell them everything.
Cleared away for a safe plan. Angel seeing if he can do some damage before they can get themselves into the position as a dart. See some spam behind this wall potentially. Anybody taking care of this? Doesn't tag onto anyone. Nobody. What is that? 2 kills from that position. Tagged up. Just absolutely ludicrous.
It's a bad plant though. This Astra Wall is going to be really important here.
Yeah, it's committed. It's going to force Edward Gaming to play in front of this now, or at least to try and pick and choose a timing past it.
Can anyone hear the diffuse noise? It looks like Smoggy might be able to.
Kang. Swings out, takes a timing there. A misplay potentially. Here's the tap. Chichu's going to be able to hear that. Back and forth through the wall, and there we have it. Navigated effectively, diverting that. It was a bit of a chaotic crisis, but no.
But the big
around
reason,
the win.
I mean, Brent, the big reason they lose it is because nobody just jumps through their own Viper wall and gets 2. This was great from Chichu to start this off, but this is the play that gets it, and it's just a 2K that's ridiculous. How he kills CNED, I've no idea. I don't think that's intentional. But do you remember back to Navi playing against NRG? They were giving up 2Ks all over the map.
Yeah.
They were swinging out on Ascent A heaven, losing player after player to 2Ks, 3Ks from crashes.
Spacing not being good.
The spacing was awful. They were also getting collatted on split constantly. This Navi team, their spacing is causing them massive issues. Just how they group up together needs to be a focus for them.
State of the economy is a little bit odd here. Zipan with the rifle in his hands, maybe just going for a bit of a play, hoping to catch one player unaware. Pays for it though. Still a minute 10 in the round as well, so potential for them to really slow this down. Take the B site in waves. Don't have to rush into too much if you are EDG.
And one of Haodong's big points in this round is going to be to try and figure out if Navi have stacked the site. That's the IGL for the team.
They're scared of a push through A.
Yeah, you can see them pinging it in the spawn.
They flash spawn as well with the sky to try and get any sense of noise cues if somebody might have been pushed, but no. They're going to choose to commit into this. There's a smoke in their face. Trailblazer.
That flash,
2 areas. Nice start.
Flash behind gives them good confidence, but now nobody doesn't have one up to actually push forward.
30 seconds left.
Not going to have that utility now. We're getting to 27 seconds. Navi, pretty much the entirety of their team as well, grouped up towards this area, trying to force out a bait out. A lot of these big tools, there it is, Hunter's Fury to try and deny the plan with 17 seconds left. Time running so damn short. CNED skipping and hopping all the way across. He's going to be falling. Spam through Xiao. He claims 2.
But the spike was planted.
It was indeed, wasn't denied. Common angles. Bullets raining down onto them. Nobody is weak. Angel, 5 health. Dart going to be used to clear close. Into Link. A rifle picked up, but overextends. His body just out in the open, and it's left Xiao to do the most. The moment where they line up here. Time pressure, no, and they were watching for it. The smoke, the push, 5-1. That's going to be that scoreline. EDG off to a fantastic beginning.
What an excellent start for the Chinese team that are hunting for the first win for them across 3 international appearances, and also the first win for Chinese Valorant. They've been hunting for this all throughout their history as being the #1 team in China. And they've forced out a tactical timeout here as Doombros gets a chance to talk with the rest of the squad. You heard about how Doombros, it was actually one of the best answers that we've gotten from the coaches in terms of those little interview pieces, but he said that they'd spent the prep work. The thing that he pointed out was building specific protocols within the team to deal with EDG's aggression. Now, if you're unfamiliar with top-level Valorant gameplay, that means, you know, if EDG do X, then we reply with Y. So maybe it's, if EDG smoke in specific places, we're going to have somebody watching because they like to push through. Or it's, you know, if they use this little piece of utility, we're going to expect them to go extremely aggressive and we're going to drop back and give them more respect than we would to other teams. You know, small adjustments like that. But actually, EDG are playing this really slowly, very patiently. And that's what I noticed watching them in China. They're about the only team in Chinese Valorant that will slow the round down in the middle. And Haodong, one of the hallmarks of how he likes to call the game, is applying pressure in one area of the map and then slowing down in the mid-round and try to bait a reaction out of the other team. Now, Navi themselves are actually quite slow too.
Yeah.
So this could end up being a really, like, brain-intensive, low-action game.
I mean, a nuanced game of Valorant, which you might not really expect too much, right? I mean,
very surprising when you're thinking about Kangkang CNED on this map.
Operator for CNED, though. Pushed up, deep dart broken. Has the dash, he's going to activate it. You know, somebody's here. Does he choose to take the fight? Orb in his face. Still has the dash.
Meanwhile, pressure being applied over towards A right now. EDG are like faking an entrance, trying to burn it out. No, they're just going straight in.
They're just barreling forwards.
Okay.
Yeah, no subterfuge around this one. Spike starting to get planted now with the breaking load of that utility. Fragmentator decided a little bit late there. It's delayed.
They got in very quickly into A. Chishu is miles away at this point.
He's going to be out of the action, honestly. This is a big map as well. He might have to get a bit of a move on.
We saw Vipers have those Nanoswarm lineups, Mako specifically, from mid.
Big group up here towards the back of the site here. No command. Ripped off. Kangkang falls. Finds it. Lockdown as well.
They're rapid.
This is really difficult. They're going to have to try and wrap around and break this one, but they're all just falling to it. It's watched. Through the choke point. Up to just Smoggy. Detected, pulled. This way, that way. The util is nice from Navi. Do circumvent that.
And 2 big ultimates being used there. The null command to make sure that EDG didn't really have any counter utility to throw, and then the lockdown to secure the space for them. So that's a combination that you're not often going to see from teams on this map. But clearly, Navi very comfortable in their own game and how they want to play a retake like that. EDG was scrambling for an answer. So now we're going to see an extremely weird situation. And once we head back into the game here, you'll see that the economy, it's a little awkward for EDG. It's not too bad because there's a Blade Storm online, but Haodong does have a Stinger. And they have massive ults. So EDG need to win this one. Very important for the momentum.
The fact that Kangkang hasn't bought a rifle for Haodong, I think, implies that he wants to try and get the ult for next round. Here we go, moving across the side. CNED wide out in the open. There's really no support for him there. He's been punished for it.
It was Smoggy taking a straight-up aim duel as well. Chishu had the free kill, and Smoggy just takes him out.
So that's the ult, maybe saving a bit of pocket change for Kangkang if he was trying to opt into saving it, but still holds his ground in position. Trailblazer pushing forwards. It does spot out a lot of that Killjoy utility. You can see the pings on the map there. Oh, yep, that's spammable. Got to be careful. But slowed down again. Like you're saying, Josh, this EDG team, they've definitely learned from these international appearances.
Absolutely. Oh, that timing.
Wow, that is brutal. Well, the right click doesn't land. Zipan who wins the fight.
Don't know how, he was pushed up right into Zipan's face.
Into Seekers though. Finally the tempo is increased. May take the side though. 30 seconds. Lockdown's going to be used to try and clear them back. Angel still holding his ground there. Bit of spam onto the corner. Gets tagged ever so slightly, but has to respect this one. Still the spike's not going down, and it's an opportunity for Navi to really flood back into this one, but spike planted. Here's the Viper's pit as well. I think escapes it ever so slightly on the edge.
That is not a good pit for the position.
Not planning for it. Shout rips off the head of nobody, trying to hold towards the back of Hall as a tap onto the spike. A bit of spam. Raw damage again. The Viper's pit falls as well as Chichu goes down. It's down to Smoggy. He cannot withstand that. Triple face, the Navi players. Excellency on display.
And I talked about how important that round was going to be for EDG because their economy relied on it. They had so many ults too. They absolutely fumbled those ultimates. I mean, the Viper's pit was literally just missed where the spike plant was. And that's a very, you know, something you can just go over in server time, should never be missed in a situation like that. And then also, might have missed it, but Haodong sent his Reckoning miles away.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he just sent it into spawn when EDG had no chance of being able to follow up on it. Navi just flooded into sight. So a big fumble from EDG after an excellent start on this map has allowed Navi to get back into things. You can't offer a team like Navi opportunities. They're gonna take them.
Steadily clawing their way back in terms of the rounds. Emphasis placed from Navi into mid. Taking this one together again, it's CNED holding with the op towards double doors. Oh, and his angles, Chichu. He heard the footsteps and he was hoping to catch a cheeky timing. CNED though too wise for that. Doesn't give up that space and positioning. The rest of Edward Gaming also now grouped up on a bit of a weaker buy. Kang does have the rifle though, and well, nobody as well with the Guardian. Start to do some serious damage, already dashing forwards towards the back of the site. How does he want to play this one? Well, with pure disrespect, that's what he's got in mind. Just walking right through the high tide, slow down, not a care in the world. He's going for it again, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. This time holding a closer position towards the back. He's got the rest of his team as well to help him out. Maybe nobody potentially getting a flash online at some point to help him out.
Navi are taking a long time setting up this retake.
The side flip like this, it could be in a bit of trouble. Moving the way through, yeah, that's CNED taken care of through Art now. These players need to be keeping this one together. Otherwise, it's going to be falling to pieces very, very quickly for Navi. Edward Gaming still with the Sheriffs, with the rifles in their hands. It's a one fight. Very smart reposition from them in a moment.
Yeah, what a great adjustment. EDG have been playing these post-plant situations so strangely, sometimes with players miles away, sometimes pushed up extremely close. That time flipping the map. Kankang's not going to play with disrespect like that all the time, but this was such a great round to do so. He's the only player with a rifle. He's got to make a play, otherwise the Navi retake is probably going to work, and he chooses his timing perfectly. CNED was all alone on that side of the map. Kangkang once again winning that jet head-to-head, although, frankly, hasn't really been the story of the match so far.
Seeing the way that this Pearl map has played as well as a breath of fresh air. It's been really no semblance of trying to play for the post-plant util. It's just been these fights being taken, util to set them up.
Yeah, different style for sure.
Yeah, EDG. Set the sides towards Art, break the util.
And then slow the pace down. Now, Navi aren't the kind of team that's going to make an aggressive move on the other side of the map most of the time. You know, Angel's on Sova. He's not going to be pushing up and allowing Chichu a free pick. This style works fantastically in China, but it's not really finding the openings that Haodong's looking for.
Well, they do force out the dash from CNED.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. It means that you can't play as aggressively now with this operator.
And also because they haven't given away any sound cues, CNED isn't here to meet them on B if they do intend to commit.
Here we go. It's a stamping herd of elephants all the way down. Shao inside of his own star, yeah, playing around it. Let's claim Kangkang. Jet player falling. Smoggy was attempting something there akin to a lurk all the way through into Art, so it's left him at a massive player disadvantage. Now you see it firing through. The sidelines are theirs. They know exactly where nobody is. Convergence on his position. So Navi really are just collecting these rounds up.
Yeah, they are. Certainly back into this half. It's a prime gaming flawless for them. Not an anti-eco or anything, just Xiao choosing the right timing to make the play. They forced the timeout here. Look at this play though. He blooms this smoke, and it's the kind of smoke that he can, you know, he can throw that at any point, whether he's there on the site or whether he isn't. It's just a good smoke to have. We saw him throwing it as help utility for Angel previously too. And he dips inside of it at that point. Catches the EDG players completely off guard. EDG have still got holes in their game for sure. And you can make plays like that exploit it. I think one of the most challenging things for EDG when they come to global tournaments like this is that they dominate China so easily, it feels, that even the plays that have holes in them, the plays that aren't tactically, fundamentally sound, they still win. And so trying to pick those apart from the good strats is difficult when they come to an event like this.
Yeah, trying to make those improvements ahead of time.
You don't know which ones are going to work globally because you don't have that level of experience. That's where the learning comes from champs, from lock-in. But trying to pick out and select the right plays and discard the bad ones without playing scared is difficult. It's a real challenge for these inexperienced squads.
Here they stand, approaching the halfway mark of Pearl. 2 rounds away from that, but as you can see from the timeline, Navi making it more respectable. See if EDG can.
Well, it's a bad economy for them.
The last 2 underneath their belt, yeah. But they have got that operator in Kangkang's hand.
And this is the round to go for something crazy if you're EDG, like we saw before. Navi fighting for a main control this time. Not something that they've done too much of.
There's a dart and a flash to reclear. And a drone as well is used on top of it.
Very heavy commitment. And, this tells you that Angel's moved away from his normal position over towards back B, and he swapped with the operator. Can EDG get a read on that?
This is a very deep angle for Zipan to be playing in. The op misses onto the corner. Smoke blooms. It's a bit of a one-way for Zipan.
It's a very awkward
space to maneuver.
Yeah, it's a very awkward smoke to get through as an attacker. You feel unsafe constantly there if you're trying to scale.
You renew it. Another star placed down. 45 seconds. That's what we're looking at in terms of the round. A bit of re-exploration from Xiao now.
It looks like with the direction of the spike that we're going to have.
Soon.
Oh yeah. So we've got a small battle in art, but also the jet point over towards B long. And Xiao wins that one against Smoggy. So no opening there for the attackers.
Smoggy just out in the open, not expecting a player to be pushed like that.
There is an op battle over here, but the spike's going back over to A.
Yeah, this is all over the place. A jump spot. Peak holds his ground. Both of the shots going wide. A bit of a handshake as the bullets go over the shoulders.
This has pulled the A players away.
Oh yeah, it's faked it. Chichu falls. Kangkang's getting out of there now. 11 seconds remaining, but nobody onto the A side to deny this one. So the plant will go down. We'll see the extension of play in this round, but there needs to be some risks taken. Nobody, that's why he's pushing forwards, but as he goes to clear close, his crosshair placement just wasn't locked onto the right place. Give Xiao an easy one, left into a 2v5. It's gonna take a miracle. Maybe Kangkang can be the player to do so. There's one, jump spot, collateral, again, skewered into the back, and suddenly it's winnable. And Elva pointing out the knives have been earned. He backs away with the dash because he's buying time for Haodong. Haodong spotted. Around towards the back, a tap onto the spike. Kangkang, the emphasis is placed. And a shot lands, but he just cannot manage it. But my God, did he give it all he's got?
So close. What a play. I mean, phenomenal stuff. I thought everything that he did there was immaculate, and I'm amazed that they had the awareness to still be looking out for Haodong. Really, that's the play that ends up losing it for him there. Kangkang did everything he possibly could, including this.
I mean, that is insane.
But it's such incredible awareness to still be checking flowers for that second player.
Yeah, it really is.
Kangkang's providing that much pressure. Great stuff from Navi to shut that down, because that looked superb.
That's the quality of play you could expect. In case you haven't been watching Edward Gaming play, Kangkang, it feels like he pulls out moments like that at any point in time when he's got that operator.
Which he still has.
Yeah. And so final round of this first half. Trailblazer used.
That's a
But
lot
after
of
the drone, yeah, the drone does spot the 2 of them, doesn't it?
They know the
Oh boy. Hunter's Fury all grouped up. It's tagged. 2 players. A lot of damage done. It's Angel. Rips it away. The first kill for him. Let's see, this is a bit of a scramble for EDG. It's offset, the player disadvantage. Smoggy, he earns his towards R. Again, the tempo just been dropped a tad, isn't it? Slow down the pace, cut noise. Wait to see what Navi will do, because it's re-exploration from Angel. It's watched. Yep, Kang's got it. The up angle. It's there. With Angel falling now, they want to try and go into this, but Zipan is close to the corner. Are they going to clear him? Yeah, it's a hard clearance from Howlon, but he doesn't have anybody else to trade it through still. The shot lands, the shot's nailed. Kang, you can always rely on him. CNED, nice. Bladestorm now with the dash. Plenty of updrafts as well to go. What can he do with it? Up in the air, the reactions! Just extraordinary. And Sugetsu, last one standing, a 1v3. Warbang through, dash away, one bullet left. Of course Kang's going for it. He's feeling it. 7-5, well-earned round.
Excellent stuff from Kang, really showing what he's capable of in a much slower paced half. He ends it with 14 kills, still not top rank. It's Xiao that was part of that big comeback from Navi. Navi started the half desperately poorly. I think it was 1-5 at some point. But they get themselves back up to a respectable half for both teams.
There's a lot of danger in a map like this, isn't it? Navi's map pick, sitting at that round deficit. It's a hard one for them, but let's send it down to the desk to break it all down so far.
What a half that was. I've got Doug and Bala with me again. We wanted to see Ned versus Kang, not so much against each other, but they both have had their moments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kang in the last 2 rounds alone, the guy's come alive. It's been crazy to watch. I think the battle for this composition against this Viper Harbor has been very interesting, though, for Navi, because a lot of their ideas are still working. Those A-main reclears still working quite well. You saw in the last 2 rounds. But I think one way back when is this retake that they attempted. Obviously, EDG did a great job pushing through that Viper wall, but this Astra wall, for me, misses the mark. It's so interesting because you can play around it like Smoggy does so well, so EDG capitalizing there immensely. I think they fixed those issues much, much later in the half, and you'll actually see it way later. The Astra wall that they used, look at it, completely different, and there's no room to play around.
Yeah, it's much better handled, right? And yes, it did take Kang getting, what was it, 8 kills in the last 2 rounds, right? All off of the op. That's when it really felt like he came online and was really able to...
Just to maintain the lead.
Yeah, exactly. Just to keep that up. And then back to the heroics, just to stay at that point.
Yeah, and I thought maybe that they might get some PTSD from having to play Pearl again this soon, but Doug, they're handling it well. But what about Navi? What would you like to see them do into the second half? Because this will be a massive upset if they don't win this.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think all eyes go back towards CNED, right? Again, he has to be able to match up with the firepower that Kang has just put out in the last 2 rounds.
I think the Kang firepower is only going to get better. The guy started to attack side opping. He's now on defense without playing against the double wall, right? There's only Astra in the hands of Xiao, and Xiao's playing great, but that defensive side op is going to rip them apart if they don't do something and do something fast.
I mean, I just hope Kang sticks to that ult, because when he didn't, the last time we saw him against T1, it was a little bit disastrous, but Josh and Bren, this is going to be a great second half. I can already feel it. Over to you guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just been explosive so far. None of that double wall, post-plant, Molly's being sent over. No, I mean, this is Navi playing something quite unorthodox in terms of what we've been used to over in the Americas, but Edward Gaming, can they carry on at this pace with the way Kang is as well? Got to be prioritizing, like Yinsu was saying, that operator in his hands ASAP.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think Desk has some great points. Kang should find it easier to have an op on defense. He's got to worry about different pieces of utility, though, like the drone and the recon dart.
Where is that landing?
That's a recon just to clear out that close area, the same way that a Cascade Flash would usually do it for the Harbor Viper comp. And it's very difficult to break whilst not being committed.
2 players contacting an either way. Turret taken out. They expect it. Someone close. 2 of them. And Kang does not shy away from the fight, but he's taken out.
Xiao and Sugetsu stand like pillars in mid.
Still another bit of an attempt from Chichu. Oh, agile with the movement. Smoggy's still looking as well to take his own fight towards B. Navi don't rush into things. They get the kills, they back away, they slow it down. They've got a minute left in this pistol round. They don't need to jump into anything.
EDG are going to look to try and make a move here. Because when you're in a 3v5, you've got to try and make something happen.
Chichu can hear it.
Oh, wow.
Almost catching that timing.
I mean, he's also only got a classic there, so very difficult to land the kill.
And the Swarm's going to be deaded here. Dart does tag towards the back onto 2 of the players. Smoggy has got to hold it down towards that angle, but everyone just trying to push through the smokes as well. helped flood into the site before. Navi were able to get the ball rolling, but that's a pistol round for them.
And when you have players that are as incredibly mechanically skilled as Navi, where their aim is so precise, people like Sugetsu and Xiao, for example, these ghosts just look ultimately deadly in their hands. The small taps, precise tapping aim onto the head. Xiao and Sugetsu are going to be a deadly force whenever they're playing together for mid control or B control.
Yeah. Important one to win for Navi as well. Deny any chance for EDG to get the money rolling. Kang actually opting into a bit of a marshal. Grouped up. Cena's now got a phantom as well, so extra bullets in the clip for him to spray through, farming up the orbs. Bit of priority here. Navi going for that classic buy of theirs as well with 2 of the ghosts. Looking for a clean, flawless round from them. Hopefully get the economy going.
And EDG cannot afford to let a game of Pearl slip through their hands again. Like we were talking about earlier, there have been 2 matches lost this year that ended on Pearl in 12-14, heartbreaking, confidence-crushing, morale-melting fashion.
Nobody swinging to break the drone. Everybody walking through in towards Art. Navi haven't made any noise here. Grouped up side by side like ships in the night. And they collapse, they collide. Head to head, face to face. High Tide blocking off a bit of that one, but not too much left to withstand it. Towards the back of the side, nobody's escaping some of the harm, but as well, that knife will spot at least him. He's load up.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. That's like a warship meeting a dinghy on the open ocean. That's not a fair fight. Splintered the EDG ship to pieces there. But yeah, the slim lead that they had at the half is now going to get equalized. And 7-7, they're going to be massively relying on Kankan to get some value done. That's a prime game in Flawless for Navi. Score 7-7. Yeah. And this composition is going to really force EDG to think on their feet. It's the Soviet utility in particular that's difficult to anticipate. You see the way that Com plays it on Fracture, for example. It's about anticipating where the darts are going to land most of the time and making sure you're not playing one-and-done positions against the drone.
But when Sova's never played on a map as well, you're not really pre-aiming it.
Yeah, it's
you
very
don't
hard
know
to
when you don't know when the darts are coming towards you, so that's what makes it so effective.
It's also just good for being able to get information behind these high tides and Viper walls.
Yeah, certainly. Really important beginning for Navi. So again, reiterating the same points, it's forced Kanghang to go into the half armor and the rifle. Doesn't have the money flowing enough to buy an operator on the defense side, so.
Shishu with a bit of a jump peek there.
Yeah.
Zipan's looking to pre-aim it. It's only a bulldog. But now he's trying to take out any alarm bot that's going to be in that area. No such luck.
Nobody.
Oh. He's so far ahead. I mean, Kankang's not the one taking contact there, it's the sky.
Yeah. It's unusual. And so much later, look at Kankang right behind.
They're not going to anticipate this. The recon dart got bad information. Angel thinks this area is clear, but Kankang can't afford to go quickly because he'll make footsteps. He is going to get behind them, though, and meet an alarm bot at some point.
And he did get information.
It's hard for him, really, to influence the round, though, without giving away his positioning to Sugetsu, who's ready to pounce.
He has called, though, that they've all rotated over towards B. That's why EDG is stacking it. Yet Sugetsu, he's watched it. Kankang not going to be getting away with that. Not onto the flank. Spam onto the high tide corner. Chichu falls close to default. Round aside. Howdong, Smoggy. They pounce out from the woodwork. And Smoggy has maybe made this one winnable. 19 seconds. Spike drop down is favorable. Spam that screens the reload. Fight there for the taking. Incredible stuff.
Where's he pulled that one out from?
That's just insane.
How has he managed that? He was getting spammed in the corner. He hears the reload on the player that invested those bullets to do such significant damage, and he chooses his timing to pounce.
He doesn't lose his cool when the bullets start raining through that wall. He hears the reload, he swings off of it, hoping for a freebie.
And he pulls it out against Sugetsu and Xiao as well. What a monster.
That is just disgusting.
That's 2 rounds now where Smoggy's won it for them.
They needed it. Deep wall cutting across towards A.
take a look at the economy here just for a moment. Chishu only has a Ghost, and Kankang has not dropped for him because Kankang wants to get an op online. Yeah. The economy management here, a little awkward for EDG. And Chishu's the player that's hard anchoring B, so this could get really weird.
There's CNED as well, who's decided to opt into the operator of his own. He has worked himself onto that TP angle. There's a fight that potentially you might see a bit of a brawl towards A. Still doesn't land the shot onto the jump peak. Not using his high tide. It's an interesting one.
It's a bizarre one.
It's like an abstract art piece on the minimap.
I mean, it's also a question mark, so it really is a piece of poetry.
Yeah, I'm often left with questions sometimes watching some of these teams, but in this case, it's been a delight.
Okay, so now Chichu, is he going to look for info again? No, just pops up the Viper wall. I am really interested to see how this player with a Ghost is going to be able to handle the hit. They've been effective so far for Navi, but the time is running low.
Yeah, 25 seconds. Rifle in CNED's hands now. There's a snakebite at his feet. It's going to stave off that aggression as well. The Viper Orb will fall, though. Kankang still towards the back of Halls. What timing does he take? There's a smoke drop down. He just can't quite land the shots, the bullets. Running down, not hitting that spray. Down as well, and the smoke still watched for CNED. Is there? Chichu flicks to the side with the Ghost.
Huh?
Okay. Wins that one, doesn't he? Everyone from Navi backing away, though. They want to try and play this one from a post-plant position because Angel does have the Hunter's Fury.
Xiao's about as far away as he could possibly get.
Yeah.
But he'll still have a pull on the spike.
That's that global presence and utility. Really does apply that time pressure. EDG hoping that they can at least stick onto it, on top of the angle, swinging through into the high tide, and now really is all on Angel. Okay, Hunter's Fury. It's ripped across over the top as well. Xiao is still behind them. Damage done. Xiao right behind. It denies it. It's half on the defuse. Nobody is miles away. He realizes it's not winnable. The timing, it was there for Xiao. There was always the potential that he ended up missing it, but my God, that was strained.
Yeah, but Navi showcasing how they're going to play that long-range post-plant game with this composition, with the pull and Xiao going on an extraordinary look. Xiao is never in danger there. There you see the pull on the spike. Both teams actually with very good protocols in this round. You saw Navi holding the smokes, knowing that EDG wanted to push through them. And then EDG themselves with the high tide pushing through it. I think both teams played that nicely, but it's EDG's economy that gets massacred.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because they win that prior round, it resets the loss bonus. They can't save for the op still.
Yep.
And they've been sacrificing their economy this entire time to try and get Kankang this op. It's going to take another miracle. Nobody. Close. The rifle, though, not getting any work done. Round to the side, Kankang's there. Dash, disengage away.
He got out?
There's no way he's surviving here, but he is.
Upgraded to a Vandal.
That is insane.
Absolute robbery.
Where's he pulled that one from? Off the ground.
He's just mugged Navi.
That is unbelievable.
Question is whether he can make anything of it, though, because they're still at a player disadvantage here. It's a 3v4.
Here we have it. Cosmic Divide cuts up, smokes, Nana swarms, dropping it. Nobody can push up and play off of this one, backing around. Back of the site still contained. This Cosmic Divide is really difficult to get through.
And you can see how good Navi are at playing around their own comp. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, the dart behind the wall. Any chance of EDG trying to play as the wall was going down, denied. They back away. Looking to do some damage here. Is the round really still winnable? Time is ticking. Further and further. There's a pull on the spike.
There's just no way it is. I'd like to see Kankang save the... Oh, well, if he saves the Vandal, he might not have enough money, actually, to buy the operator, so never mind. Okay. All right, so by the look of it, we will finally have the Kankang op online. So he has enough to be able to buy one Cloudburst, one Updraft, with his op and his light armor. But we're already 6 rounds into the half.
Yeah, this is Navi that, I mean, at this point, they equalize. They now have the lead in the rounds. It's 9-8, so is it going to be too little too late? We'll have to find out.
I'd love to see if Navi have got any fast rounds planned to make the tempo different, assuming they get the read on Kankang potentially having an op.
The drone's used early, doesn't spot Kankang. Obviously, he's playing all the way over towards B, deep. Player at his side, and now pressure mounting onto Howdon. Can he anchor? Going to be any sort of explosive presence? Well, smoke goes down, nobody out into the open. There's a splash. A dash, CNED's towards the back with a dart as well. You can feel the pressures there. Smoggy Did well to try and watch for that one. Covered one angle, still close to the corner, has the lockdown. Angel, he knows he's there. Way to the side, adjusts the aim ever so slightly. Gets away with it. Left on 56 health. Complete avoidance of Kang.
Really well done by Navi. They realize that Kang is not going to be opping over towards A as soon as they take A main control. They pivot into an A hit. Nobody caught out in the open. And they stop Smoggy from being able to safely put down that lockdown. No chance of a retake. Two players with massive ults there. Haldong had Reckoning, Smoggy had Lockdown. Neither of them able to play in this. Navi just applying the squeeze onto EDG, and perfectly timed with when Kang finally had enough money to get the AWP online. We're still only just beginning to enter the final quarter of Pearl, but it feels like Navi have gone from looking shaky at the start to now being completely in control. They're controlling EDG's economy. Their A and B hits have both been excellent. People are getting caught out left, right, and center on EDG by the Sova utility, by the timings of things. And it honestly feels like the same kind of story that we've seen twice this year already, where EDG let a Pearl slip through their fingers.
Oh, your heartbreak. Tragic series of events. There's so many chances for EDG to get a win here and there at these international events, and now this match right here, elimination. It's the last chance for Masters Tokyo to make their stand. But Navi have got so much to play for. I mean, listen, we'd be saying that normally with any elimination game, but there really is just that extra bit of pressure on both of these teams. Navi trying to fight not to fly 6,000 miles to play an LCQ. That is just insane. I mean,
yeah, that's one of the scariest players I've seen. Wouldn't want to be sitting next to that person. EDG gonna take a timeout. I think even more so than anything tactical, now's a good opportunity for the EDG coaches to just be calming the team down.
Yeah.
The more you think about the fact that you're letting it slip away, the more it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you start worrying, if you lose the confidence, you start doubting your teammates, going to hero plays, all of these things can be a swift path to defeat.
Maintain that composure. But his half is yeah, it's slipping away from them. It's all been Navi.
It's also just excellent work by Navi.
Yeah.
They're identifying where the operator is, and these execs, EDG don't know where to look with the utility. I don't think they'll have ever played against a composition like this, or at least not recently. People used to run solo Astra comps on this map, but not for a long while.
Look at how good it is. I mean, the deep knife that's delayed for the first 10 seconds of the round. They know that nobody's pushed up close. Drone spots out Kang. So
and
that's
look how
the goal of that
quickly they
util.
leave.
Yeah, and they instantly respond.
Bye-bye.
This is the Navi game plan. Even though they're not running the double wall comp.
This is quite cool, though. Haldong stuck himself into a really awkward position. So if they're anticipating Navi running away from Kang, nobody's baiting for Haldong here. The problem is he's only got it.
Well, he just cascaded from the corner.
He's just giving away where he is.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay.
I mean, he only had a sheriff anyway. It's not like you can spray everyone down.
Uses it to reposition. Updraft on top of the box.
Kang's already here.
No command as well. Through. There it is. Rips forwards. Run and gun. That's the play. CNED doesn't want to catch those hands as well. Not in a straight-up gunfight. Takes out the opposition. Xiao really being swept, just trying to buy time for the rest of his team as well, because nobody in Haldong, they were being squeezed.
Good help. Very good help by
Seconds.
CNED and Sugetsu.
Nobody got Zipan up. 2 versus 3. Chichu taking risks. Wider play. Shots not really landing onto the target there. Rattled off with the sheriff. Still the lockdown. Opting to use it.
For it.
Opting to use it. They have the guns for the job as well. The fight is lost. Xiao is so damn consistent. The rifle will change hands here. Picked up towards main, but really have to get a move on. They don't have art control. There's nano swarms. There's a pull. Really just does not feel winnable for Smoggy. Just way too much against him. A tap onto the spike, baiting out the next level towards it, but you can hear it. The spike is ticking, rapidly approaching the demise of the round. Baiting it out. There's one, almost grabbing the second, but again, it's just that time. He doesn't have it. He realizes it. Operator even denied from him. He was hoping to get that into the next round. But Navi, they just got a chokehold. They know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, their control of the game is excellent. Remember, though, that was an anti-eco round. EDG are going to be going into this one with rifles. This now becomes the most important round of the map so far. Round 20 could well define whether or not Navi win or EDG are able to get back into things. And a moment to talk about Xiao. I mean, his Astra just puts him in positions to take smart fights so often, and his aim is superb.
25 kills.
Unbelievably consistent.
Just insanity with this level of play.
It's like the Grim Reaper. He's utterly inevitable.
Exactly right. That role that he's playing with the Astra, it's usually going to be that final line of defense if it's even necessary, but it's been ripping apart EDG. Alarm bot close here. Contact play, but grouped up with Navi. They remove a lot of this Killjoy utility. Flash over the top as well. Reckoning is a choice to fight this. Evo Gaming, they want to take it to them. Spike's been dropped. Navi, okay, all the way. This way, that way. It's going to be the dash to disengage for CNED. Behind the box as well. Wants to try and take the clean fight. He does so. Kang will fall. Spike is still dropped in the middle of nowhere, but massive player disadvantage. What a reaction from Navi.
Yeah, so good. Those are the kind of protocols that they'll have been working on.
Round to the side though, players are weak. Juju resets the aim towards the box. Xiao! There's that last level, that last line of defense, but it's up to Angel. Smoggy has the read, he's holding this angle. Not a care in the world, not a worry, can he land the shot with the reactions? Again! Smoggy has been the savior for this team.
We talked about how important that round was going to be, and Smoggy bails them out. Not just that, but the grit to go for 2 aggressive reclears of Art. The first one, supported by the Reckoning and the Seekers, didn't work out, but here, Chichu and Smoggy decide to refight that area again, and they catch a player reloading and another one not quite ready for the timing. And then what a read at the end from Smoggy. There are 2 players, one on each team, really stepping up, and I thought it was going to be CNED Kankan. It's not. It's those supportive players, the last bastions, Xiao and Smoggy, having their own private battle to see how many rounds they can win.
And that was one hell of a lifeline that has been offered. It's got the op back into Kang's hand. It's renewed sense of hope maybe that the map could still be theirs. It's only 2 rounds to stand between them and being able to bring it to even against what Navi's running. The drone didn't see anything.
And that's more scary for Navi.
Is.
If you don't see anything, Kankan might have just been dodging it and getting ready to post back up. But they're gonna start going forwards anyway.
Yeah. Viper's bit off of what kind of timing, not too sure.
It works though.
Yeah, lay it down here. Knife broken. CNED, he's inside the pit. He's got the dash active. Looks like he wants to make a play. Spamming, that is so damn dangerous. But the K kicking in, there's a lockdown. This will clear this one all the way out. Chichu can't afford to play into this one. They're still watching double doors because they knew that Sugetsu was lurking. Dog did spot him at the beginning of this round. There's a gap towards the back here of Horse, and there it is, Smoggy. He catches it. Maybe not the player is anticipating. Chichu finally dealt with though towards the back of Horse. It's 4 versus 4, retaking with the operator plan. Denied. Spam through. Taodong bringing this one down. Angel now forced to try and plant this, but as the smoke fades away, Sugetsu is massive. It's 2 kills.
Here.
Both sides looking for an advantage with the operator. Kang down. Angle there. Back of Horse. Smoke. CNED in towards it. It's got to be Cond. He hits the flick. Do they know where he is? Dashes back. Pings towards it. Out to the wide. Sugetsu lands the shot. 3 kills in the round. Can he make it 4? To bring it to 12. A tap. Doesn't open himself wide. He knows he's not on it. He gets the info. Another tap. Smoggy desperate to bait the peak. Does he know he's not in it now with the tag onto the defuse? Smoggy, timing on board, and what is that? Sugetsu is just a menace.
There are so many unbelievably good players in this match. It's an absolute pleasure to watch them play these kind of situations. The way that Sugetsu's won this round is unreal. And these tiny, tiny little peaks are perfect to just draw the player off the spike. After Smoggy's been so immaculate in the end of these rounds as well.
That is icy.
Beautifully played. That once again knocks the EDG economy down. This is going to be the most difficult round for them to win if there's any chance of the comeback happening. Any chance of this going to OT.
Navi, one more round will do it. Lock up the first map in this series will be under their belt. Walls on walls. It's a cascade and a high tide. Sent flying near the beginning, Navi grouping up. 3 of their players. Not really too much intention behind it though. Just a drone while the rest of them actually back away.
It's a good break, though, because it stops them from seeing nobody tucked around the corner. And he's at a close distance to maximize value from his stinger.
Again, it's going to have to take so much. Kang falls. Going for the reclear towards A main. Forces out the high tide. Rips its way through. Smoggy doesn't land his shot. Nana Swarm activated. More there. Hunter's Fury now. It's in the corner. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. The first tag. An attempt by Sagetsu. Still kills going slightly even. 2 players left standing. Can nobody do it? Flashes there. Does connect all the way around. And okay.
What a play.
Earns himself an upgrade.
He's the player that was holding close towards A main at the beginning. Managed to finesse everybody.
It's been flipped towards the back. Trailblazer. Okay. Doesn't actually choose to tag it onto the player planting 5 HP. Smoggy into the smoke. CNED, I mean, he's looking the wrong way. Lockdown committed. It has to be. Got to respect a player like Xiao. Pushing round. Xiao doesn't choose to kill it. Okay, now destroying it. It's alerted him to his position. The jiggle peak. Smoggy wants to take first contact on 5 health. He has been just outstanding.
EDG are going to live to fight another day here on Pearl. The last 2 times we've seen them play it at an international event, it's been a 12-14 loss. It's always gone OT, but they've never been able to drag it through. It's going to have to go OT again today if they want to win it. Smoggy was under outrageous pressure this round. He got solo Sova ulted and then ran around to deal with Sugetsu, who was pushing him from B-Link.
I can't believe it.
What he's been able to achieve is unreal in this game.
I mean, he's been that beacon of hope for them.
He certainly has.
He's kept them in it so many rounds now.
They're going to need it again, and their economy's still not good enough for Kankan to be able to pick up an operator.
Might be a good thing, honestly, with the way that Navi have just been avoiding him like the plague. Drone. Tag onto the corner, clears through into A mid. It's being explored.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was taking a look at the economy. Kankan could have bought an op here, and he chose to go for the rifle instead.
Oh, doubled up. How long? Behind the box, flash, anti-spam is there, and it's collected!
What a setup!
One after another.
They know that Navi have been pressuring towards Art so much, and they decide to go for that. Beautiful stuff. Spike drop down, and EDG are not looking to fight over it. It's just going to waste more time as Navi try to win a 2v5. EDG are doing this. How? I'm not quite sure. It has taken miracles and gutsy plays. The decision to go for an all-in piece like that.
Heroics on display.
But unless Angel and Sugetsu can do something superb here, it looks like we're going to be heading to the final round of regulation.
Piece of util broken, forces out that high tide. 30 seconds. Just seems so improbable right now for Navi. I mean, they're still lurking their way around, but I think at this point opting into keeping the operator. Angel just picking it up as well. No intention to throw away their lives.
And this will be an excellent boost to the economy for EDG. I know there's only 1 round remaining, but there was a serious chance that they win and still enter the final round with crushed weaponry. Had this one been expensive, but it's not. It's flawless.
What a map we have had. We said it at the beginning, man. We knew it was going to be special.
Yeah, but in very different ways, I feel. We were anticipating this battle between CNED and Kankan, who, in their opening games in the tournament, put on such a masterclass display with the operators. And now this has been much more slow, patient, disciplined, to be honest. But with those flares and flashes of aggression and set plays, the hero moments from individuals.
He's still here. He's still at the event.
He is. He is. I mean, I don't think you were missing him yesterday. But yeah, Navi are going to take another time out here and try and cool themselves. EDG on Pearl just seem destined to go to OT. Is history going to repeat itself again? Surely not for the 3rd time running. Surely not.
Man. Everything to prevent it. Let's see though. Navi taking this time out. Last round of regulation. 1 chance to close it out before it can really get to OT.
And at this point, you're so deep into this half, it's the final round. What more do you have to show? I mean, take a look at the economy here, though. It's a Guardian and a Blade Storm being used for Xiao and CNED. On the other side of things, Chishu does upgrade that Guardian into a Phantom, which makes perfect sense. They've got the economy for it. And I've seen Haodong have these Reckonings a lot on this map, and yet not a huge amount of value being gained from them. If he can find a good spot to use that ultimate to re-clear Navi or to play the retake, it could be game-changing. It could push them over. But here we go.
The knife and the dart used together. Clears out towards A very fast now. Navi, they're not wasting time. The Blade Storm all picked up. That's going to be the null command.
I mean, there's a massive rotation happening between the EDG players. Nobody in Haodong ran immediately over to B, anticipating that Navi were going to make this swap. What kind of read is this?
This is
incredible.
Read, I mean, not only this as well, they've got Kang playing close with the operator. He's not going to show himself. The drone's still in the back pocket of Angel, but it's a job of nobody to try and break it. He's pushing up. Nobody's got his teammate close to the corner. Someone needs to break this. It spots him. And it's the bait and switch.
Wait, they didn't break the drone.
They didn't break it because nobody wants to try and hold for any sort of kill. Swarmed onto the angle here, and there it is. The rifle letting it rip, flicking a wrist towards the side. Kang. Oh my goodness. Bullets landing towards the back of the head. He's right to the side. He will fall through the smoke. And damage not enough done to bring down the player. Zipan's weak. Tap with the plan, trying to bait something out. And again, Chichu will be the one to fall. Reckoning, everything being expended. It's desperation for EDG to hold on. And Haodong, he might just be the man to do it. Nanoswarm's deaded, shots landing. And Zipan, a sliver of health. Turret in his face, not planted for him. Wide to the side, a cove as well. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. We are going to OT.
We talked about Haodong's Reckoning, and that was a miracle play. A miracle. 2v4, just as Navi are backing off to be able to play the post plant, he swings in with pulses at the feet of the Navi players and catches them in stumbling retreat. How has EDG pulled that one out? 3 in a row to take us to overtime. They lost at Lock-In, 100 Thieves, 12-14. They lost just here in Masters Tokyo to T1, 12-14. So criminally close to being able to take their first match win at an international event. And the first match win for China. Not quite the same thing on the line here, we're only in map 1. But they will want to reverse that scoreline, reverse the fate. Can they hold on in OT? It has been just the worst for them so far.
The battle rages on, doesn't it? Both the Jet players opting into buying the operators.
Of course.
No armor.
Of course.
One smoke between them each. Drone doesn't see much. Deep dart, that's all the Sova util really being used now. About 1:10 into it.
And EDG looked like they made an adjustment here based off a timeout or a discussion internally to try and deny Angel good information with this and play around those Sova timings. You know, they anticipated the rotate, had like a fake play with the drone in round 24, and now they've dodged all of Angel's util and grouped up at B.
Jump spot just in case. Lining up. Making me scared.
Xiao in the smoke.
Yeah, smoke up close again. This time Trailblazer used a bit further back. Xiao catches the timing. Nana Swarm vulnerable up. There's a snake bite. It's all used together to try and clear out the common corners. Haodong. Cove. It's in his face. The back of horse still not cleared though. It's watch nobody adjusts the aim. 4 versus 4. And the reflank attempt to smoke. He just misses the timing. Recall. There it is. Lands a shot but instantly traded.
3v3.
To get 2 watching for it. Flash over the top as well. CNED struggling to get a handle on it, but yet adjust the aim nevertheless. Kang brought down. EDG. Haodong and nobody. They've got to do so much. Pre-aiming onto the corner. Up to just Haodong. 1v2. A white face, a white swing. Xiao, here's the footsteps. Star there, forces the fight in the astral form. Tap with the rifles. It's a game of chicken. Does he choose to push? Held, still, time on his side. Lands it. 13-12. A twist and turn in the regular tale that we've been telling for EDG on this map.
And Haodong has been unbelievable for them. Normally, I think you would consider him, the IGL of the team, to be one of their weaker players. But that 2K he got in order to drag them to overtime, and then a 1v2 here, he is just saving this map for EDG. He's the difference, he's the twist in the tail. But can EDG close it out? That round took everything from them.
Howdong really so smart the way he played it. He's given them a chance. A golden one. One round. Nobody tagged. Nobody covering him. He tried to break the drone. He didn't even do just that. Shao. Oh, this guy. These moments of brilliance just shining through, and it looks like an attempt from EDG. They want to flood in. There's a cascade. There's a gap there, but again, it's answered. Pound for pound, Shao has just been such a ridiculous player. Earning the Cosmic Divide. Kang pushing through. He's got the operator. 61 health. He wants an easy fight. He hears the footsteps. Does he choose to take the repeat down? My God, no scoping. Get rid of that Nana Swarm. He's tired of it. Turret broken. Still so much to watch. Flash over the top. What? A flick to the sides. Oh my.
But it's Shao again. 4 kills in the round, controlling EDG, putting them out. And EDG, opportunities squandered. That's been the problem when they've come to global tournaments before. That's another one. They had map point there and squandered it with nobody getting caught out. And that's happened a few times. Nobody's trying to play very aggressively. We saw him tuck pillar. We've seen him tucked A main, pushing A main, caught out in the open a few times. They are really abusing this guy, who's trying to play it as almost a quasi-duelist role.
Yeah. Timeout earned.
Timeout taken. Both of the teams are given an additional timeout when we go into overtime. Navi make use of theirs. Shao is currently sat at 33 kills.
This is a level of performance that, listen, the EMEA fans will be hammered against the wall saying, "We told you so."
Absolutely.
He's capable of this on the big stage.
And of course
we've seen it before.
Of course they are. You'd be a fool to doubt Navi. Sure, they have slumps, but they're a team where you just say to yourself, okay, but if they play like they've done in the past, anything's possible. These guys have won trophies. I mean, everybody on the team, even after bringing in CNED, he, of course, has won the biggest that you can.
And just spectacular individual form on Astra, nevertheless.
Yeah, his Astra, though, is crazy good. He's known as a big initiator player, but I think he just gets such smart fights when he plays Astra, because he's allowed to play a bit more of a passive position. It's somewhat similar to his initiator fights that he takes. Obviop, once more.
And 13-13. Nana Swarm and Snakebite, that's sent gliding. You can hear it right through the air. Meant to punish anybody who's playing. I believe towards Link. Forced the dash out of CNED now with the operator again.
EDG haven't been able to get to round 27 previously. He's always been shut out before that. One Pearl.
Trailblazers used and broken. EDG want nothing to do with it.
I like this alarm bot that Sketsu's put down in A main. It just gives them such confidence, but he's actually facing it as well. He's looking for a fight over here. So Kangkang's slowly taking space over in this area.
I think Zipan's got a flash off the alarm bot.
Yeah,
looks like what he's setting up for.
But surely Sugetsu would almost take contact first.
Let's see what he chooses to do. Fight! Sprayed through! Howdong! Again! He's not messing around, is he? An instant stun from Shao to try and slow down the inevitable, but at this point they have already barreled through. They have the sight. There's Dart. Revealed, spam sprayed, adjustment to movement, you're looking agile with it.
Yeah, but they haven't done any damage.
Potentially because the comb was up, but as it falls down, CNED's still there towards the bag. CNED claims 2, and he's looking for the 3rd. Turret removed for him. Shao, he's got his back towards the corner. Kang, close. It's a 2v1. Patience is played. CNED's got the knives, and this is it. A 4th kill to turn the round in his favor. He's hunting for the target. He doesn't clear the corner. Chichu, cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't overstep himself, doesn't overplay it.
And look at the disappointment on CNED's face there. He knows he should have cleared that corner. And after he'd done so incredibly well in the round, it just feels like you've thrown it away. But what is this from Howdong again? 2 more kills to set his team up. And that trap play, like I talked about, that didn't look good.
No.
I mean, Sugetsu was taking contact before that. And yeah, that's what it means to him. It puts EDG at another map point.
You can feel the stress, man, emanating from the stage. Like we were mentioning, it's not just an elimination match. Yes, we're early on in the series, but For EMEA, they're playing to avoid last chance qualifier.
What a crazy situation that's in. I asked some of the teams at the press conference, do you think that adds additional pressure? And they're like, yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. We can't even, you know, just focus on Tokyo. We're thinking about champs as well. Very difficult position for Navi, for Foot, for all of these teams. Trying not to be the first one eliminated, especially for Navi because they're the lowest seed. So even if they go out at the same position as Foot, they'd end up heading to LCQ.
Yeah, that's right.
Tough spot for them, tough spot. Even if they lose here, there's chances for them to pull it back on Bind and Lotus. The Lotus attack side looked very good against NRG and their Bind has been solid, but you want to win your map pick. That's what this is.
For EDG, Edward Gaming. ASE were denied the chance to get the first win for China on the international stage just earlier today. They were eliminated, so they're the last one standing. Stalwart defenders for the pride of their entire nation. Let's see if they can do it. Can they claim the first chance here on map number 1? They only need the 1 round. There's a drone used very early on. Steep.
EDG have not been getting any value out of players stuck in back halls here. Normally, a player in Smoggy's position has just been flushed out. They've got Astra stuns, they've got recon darts, they've got KO flashes, a lot to get you out of this.
Knife was close to the corner. Smoggy could actually break that one. Maybe a bit of a misplay. Clear towards the back here. Now Trailblazer used. There was an attempt of a punish. Sugetsu tried to run up towards it.
They know that nobody has been sloppy with his positioning. So that makes sense there to try and punish this guy. But he was behind the corner, at least this time.
50 seconds. No player advantage.
And no player in B Link, which is where Navi are headed.
Angel's pre-aiming for the jump spot. Smoggy was playing there. They drop down into the smoke now, working their way through into B Link. It's going to be that 4-1 split. Somebody holding towards the backside of this one. Howdong is there on to Heaven. Feeling it now towards the back of Halls. What can Smoggy do? Pushing right through into the smoke. Smoggy still alive. Takes the first fight, but CNED, he wrangles control of the rifle. Maintains and holds.
EDG just cannot figure out how to deal with that. That player in backside always getting flushed. And now in a 2v4 to win the map.
So much to clear. Not util to really do it here. Some of the rifles. Look at this crossfire setup, it's brutal. 2 players in link, one towards the back of Horse, one takes the fight. Kang managed to work his way into the back of Horse here, but what can he really do? He dashed right out into the open! Yeah, CNED's gonna capitalize instantaneously. 14-14. We go again.
Switching sides. Overtime.
So 3 map points given away by Navi to send this to overtime. And now 2 map points failed to capitalize on for EDG. Neither team able to get over the line here. There's both of them struggling when it gets to those important points. But putting on a show.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time that Kang has not bought attacking op in OT.
Just going for the rifle. CNED thinking otherwise though. Heavy group up. It's up to him to do something about it and spam onto the corner. Catches Kang. Adjustments. It was there with the aim. Reposition with the dash close to pillars. Anything to clear him out. He wants to take another bite of the apple. Wide swing as well. Wide phase the no scope. CNED is an absolute beast. Maybe just getting a bit ahead of himself. He was hoping for the second kill there. Maybe to just refresh the dash.
I don't think Navi will be mad about that one though. They're in a 4v2 to get themselves another map point.
Jump spot, nobody, reactions. Spike was picked up, side by side. Smoggy at his back.
And if EDG pivot, they've got Shao at their backs.
All that space has been vacuumed into mid, you're exactly right. So Navi have got a really clear idea of what's happening here. They can play off any one of these players. Contact Zipan, really good with the movement.
Clean, extremely clean from Navi. They throw something different out there. You know, Angel's normally going to be playing towards B. It's normally quite a passive B setup. This time, putting CNED deep and having him get aggressive off the back of someone else's spam. And it's, you know, Angel playing with CNED this time. I think that's the first that they've gone for a setup like this.
And listen,
that's crazy.
Some level of fortune involved, of course. You know, you're spamming down that angle. Angel gets the first, but CNED just pulling off amazing moments. And now, shoes on the other foot, isn't it? Navi They just need the one round. They can lock up this map.
Navi have already let 3 map points slip through their fingers, though. They've not been clean with it so far. Can EDG pull out the impossible once more?
Can they stay alive? Operator again. Towards the side, he hasn't really adjusted his aim for it. He already crossed over towards the side. There's a flash into it. He's still got the dash. Takes the fight. Dashes forwards anyway.
The reaction times are unreal.
Kang, when you watch him, you just know he's not going to miss. The aim is just so calm. And he's given them the player advantage now. An immediate rotation all the way over towards A. Navi. I feel like they've got a bit of a read on this. They've left Xiao in a forward position here towards A main because they took that space earlier. And the rest of them now grouping up. They have to be careful though. Kang! He does not miss!
Why is that flick?
It's insane. The reaction times of this guy, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like it. He makes the op look like it's pre-nerf and it's all running all the way towards B. Chichu calls it. The rest of Navi approaching his position now. Trying to get this plant down. Zipan's there. Not a clean fight. Anti-flash. Chichu, he was ready for it, anticipated it. Spike's been dropped into the back of Hall. Don't really need to make these plays yet still. Kang goes for it. 3 there. Knives around the side. Make it 4. Why not? Add another one to the collection of multi-kills. This guy is a phenom.
Overtime.
Everybody that plays against him says he's the real deal, and you see it now in the matches. I mean, to be honest, Smoggy might be outperforming him here in the match, but overall, look at this flick.
That's
Down B.
I mean, that is so fast, and such a large difference compared to where his crosshair placement was.
Yeah,
It's ludicrous.
Yeah, have to get the thesaurus out, I think, Josh, honestly. Because the amount of times we've been describing this guy is ludicrous, insane, crazy. He just pulls off the impossible.
He's exhausting the list of superlatives, isn't he? But that's why people consider him the best player in China. What he can do, these kind of things. He's going to pick up the attacking op again. So it's op v op on EDG's attack side. They've done this almost all the time. We saw a slight difference in round 29. Which of these teams is going to be able to get it across the line, though? This looks like it could be the longest game that we've ever had.
On a 3-match day.
No one wants to go home.
Yeah.
In every sense of the term.
Maybe production, but...
Keep him trapped.
Listen, I'm here. I'm here for it. Keep the game going. 15-15. Extension of play in map number 1. It's a lovely camera shot.
And how do you bring out new ideas? You know, you're so deep into this. Both teams have already used the timeout that they get in overtime, so it's all just down to the players. The players have to be constantly thinking, generating ideas, ways of spicing stuff up.
Kang. Nano Swarms. Gonna be popped off here. There's 27 seconds in this round. Turret not broken. They're just spamming down the common angles as well. Walls in their face. No one really knows what they're landing and hitting with these shots. Where are they even aiming at Haodong? Just pulling brilliance out of thin air. Flash over the top, right over the top. And time is running so damn short here. Spike in the hands of Chichu. He chooses to plant it wide out into the open. Spammed by Zipan, but it doesn't connect onto it. Close to the corner, that's Smoggy.
That spam would have won them the round.
Thought it was brave. Chichu planting out in the open there, but it works out. 2 versus 2. Nana Swarm popped off. Close to the corner is Smoggy. Chichu knows. Oh my God, the short he pulled down and swinging off the contact. Oh my God.
That looked a little weird from EDG, but it gets them up to 16 and map point again.
Okay.
Incredible stuff. I mean, Haodong gets a kill on CNED. I'm sure he's just aiming for the turret there. Maybe he's pre-firing. Maybe he saw a glimpse of something. But he pulls a 2K out again in a desperate situation for EDG.
Yeah,
We've seen amazing stuff. From Kang's opping, Smoggy's insane multi-frag rounds, where he just straight up wins it for the team, and Haodong's clutch 2Ks. This team is desperate not to lose here.
You got to get it over the line. They can't have the repeat. The international stage is the best chance they've had. Yes, Kang. Oh, the consistency is off the charts.
He puts his team in a 5v4 to win on Pearl.
Can Can they do it? Can they get it over that line? Alarm bots are going to be broken here. CNED, he activated the dash. It's going to be fading away of how slow this is being played. Trailblazers getting a bit of information there, spotting Xiao. And it's enough to indicate or at least force the rotation.
Yeah, Kang just comes sprinting over.
Not wasting any time. Turret's broken. Watching towards Ard. It's up to nobody to hold this main angle because look at Kang. Again, exploring close. Catches Angel with the bow out in his hands. Now they move forwards, through into Art, 2 players grouped up, but this is it, surely. The finisher, Kang seeks to deliver the final blow, nobody's there. 3 kills, 9 turn, once more, sprayed through. Map 1 is theirs.
Pop off, Kang, you deserve it. They turn the tail. Rewrite the history books on Pearl. And EDG finally able to get over the line in overtime. It took them until OT. After a great start on this map, they finally drag it through. But both teams had their chances there, and we saw some immaculate play from both sides. Navi are going to be gutted they weren't able to win their map pick. And look at the difference in vibes as they exit the stage.
Oh.
So enthralled, thrilled, ecstatic at that one. And that is going to immediately undo the morale damage that they suffered, the psychic damage from losing to T1.
Overnight, the mentality reset, whatever it was, but yeah, you've taken map 1 against Navi, of all teams. It might have been the 14 coming into the event from EMEA, but it's still Navi. You can never count this team out. They pushed them right to the limits, and it took everything being pulled from almost all the individuals.
Yeah, it was ridiculous rounds. I mean, Kang had some spectacular rounds with his operator in particular, but we also saw Smoggy basically hard carrying them, deadlifting them through the early portions of this map. And Howdong was the only reason they made it to overtime. The only reason that they were still in there. Some ridiculous 2Ks.
Yeah. Just everybody pulling up the bootstraps as well, stepping up when it was needed.
And spare a thought for Xiao, who ends the map with more kills than the bottom 2 players on EDG combined.
4 first bloods as well than anybody else on the rest of his team.
Xiao was doing everything he possibly could there to get them across the line.
He went nuts.
But Navi want to win, it's going to have to come on Bind and Lotus, which are coming up next.
Yeah, to bring it all the way to the distance. And I mean, the deeper we get into this map pool, the more interesting it gets as well. Navi be making adjustments with their own, moving away from the Yoru picks as well, that experimentation. We've already seen evidence of that, but you know, we're going to be seeing as well, potentially a glimpse of the attacking Gecko op from EDG on Bind. I mean, listen.
And if those words may sound crazy, I hope the desk is going to give you a glimpse of it, because, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. This series really living up to those expectations that we've been placing on it, because it's all being mounting well. It's going to do it for map number 1. See you on the other side of the break as well with a continuation of the series.